Hey guys, this is Dr. Renee Pleasant of Pleasant Leadership Consulting, where we inspire your leadership freedom. So, welcome back to another edition of Leadership University here on our YouTube channel. If you haven't done so, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. That way, every week when we upload a new video, you will be the first to know. And sometimes I drop a surprise video, whether it's sharing one of my readings, reflections, or it's just sharing one of Dr. Renee's leadership reflections. So stay in the know. So this week I am starting the series on, as I said, the owner-board relations and how important that is to your organization. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Well, the first segment in the series is the Captain Obvious. We should choose carefully. So in many cases, the CEOs do not typically get the option to select the board members. So you kind of get what you get, and you really shouldn't throw a fit. So my previous slide, I said it very much tongue-in-cheek. You get what you get, and you should not throw a fit, and that's true. We need to make the best of the situation that we're given, but that doesn't mean that you can't have great relationships. However, if you are given the opportunity to make a selection, well, please choose wisely. And if you need guidance on that, I know a girl. I can help you with that. I can help you make good choices. What would the ideal board member be like? What would the qualifications be like? Well, I'm glad you asked that. So the ideal board member is a combination of someone who is motivated with experience, but they're also motivated with a mixture of capabilities. So notice that both sides entails somebody who is motivated. That's very important. You don't want someone who's just going to sit there and they're motivated by just having the position of being a board member. No. That's not the motivation you want. You wanted somebody who has experience, has the capabilities, but they're also motivated with the same core values, the same mission, the same vision that the organization has. So it's obvious that if you're seeking to fill the spot, you want the board member to fill a vacancy. Well, they're filling a void. Well, duh. But you don't want them just to be a warm body in the seat. They have to bring in their to the position their experience, their capabilities, and they have to bring in some fresh blood. Guys, this is not the time to bring in the same old, same old. If you do the same things that you've always done, i.e., bring in the same ideas that you've always had, you're going to get the same results. If you are being blessed with the opportunity to have a vacancy, and it can be a blessing, then maybe you want to use this as an opportunity to bring in some fresh ideas and see where that brings you. It could take your organization in a whole new direction. So you might want to bring in a board member who highlights the blind spots that your board actually has at this moment, and let them be the strength to your board's existing. At the moment, where are you currently weakest at, and bring that person who has the strengths in those areas. I'm just saying. If you have been following me for a minute, you know that I preach that transparency builds trust. But in order to be a transparent leader, you have to make yourself vulnerable. And that's very hard to do as a board member, but it's necessary. You can do it with some safeguards, but you have to expose yourself. So let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Today's business world is different than yesterday, and it's even different than what tomorrow is going to be. And I mean that in the figurative sense, not the literal. But today, power is gained by sharing knowledge, not by hoarding it. Guys, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Bad news does not get better if you sit on it. So you're going to have to share all information with board members. They can help you if you're going to sit and withhold information. So leaders, bad news doesn't get better with time. So you can't Another one of my infamous sayings is it doesn't matter what shade of lipstick you put on the pig, you're still going to be end up kissing a pig. So share all the information with your board members so that they know how best to help you. Um, don't hide the negative information. They don't want all your best. They don't want you to sugarcoat anything. In order for them to best serve you and to best help you, you're going to need to tell them everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. The next part in this series is bonding with board members. And for some reason, leaders feel very guarded about this. They feel like there's this invisible line, and they feel like they cannot form a bond with board members, or or they go to the other extreme and they feel like they need to get real chummy, almost inappropriate, with this friendship or mock friendship. It usually ends up being a mock friendship with board members. There is a balance there, and there's something that says that you cannot form a friendship or a professional relationship with board members. And let's talk about that. So, as a leader of your organization, you are strongly encouraged to have a relationship, a professional relationship with the board as a whole, and then along with each member in that board. And let's talk about how you go about developing that relationship. You can cultivate that relationship with the board as a whole or with individual board members simply by inviting them to your site. And it doesn't have to be when the grand gestures are happening, like when you're having the big Christmas party or you're having the big awards banquet or the big hoopla. Invite them out for a tour. Invite them over for just the day-to-day stuff. Let them see the behind the scenes. And but it's okay to invite them to over for the milestones. They enjoy seeing that just as well. But also and share with them the details of your business. Include them on the newsletters. Include them on some of the not all of the emails because they have a life and then businesses to run themselves. But share some of the emails and the newsletters with them. Keep them informed. Let them know what's going on inside your organization so they're not just getting the updates at the board meetings. Let them feel included. You never ever want to exclude your board members. We are already at the last segment within this series on the owner board relationships, and we're going to talk a little bit about tenure. And specifically, we're going to talk about tenure for the board members. And there's some pros and cons about whether or not we're going to set the recommendation for setting term limits. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Now, like most things in life, there's two camps on whether or not of beliefs that you should or should not set term limits. I happen to be in the camp that there should be term limits for the board members. When possible, I think there should be term limits of when people serve on a board, just because I believe that people get stagnant, they get complacent. I think complacency is costly in the business. That's just my personal opinion. I would love for you to share your thoughts in the comments below. I suggest 1-year appointments. I can see in some businesses that that's too short, and I'm not dead set on that 1 year. I can see how that could be arguably too short, and like I said, I'm not married to that idea. But I do think that term limits are valid. So that's my thought on term limits, but I do have some more thoughts, so let's go to the next slide. Okay, so here's the thing about term renewals. If there is going to be a term renewal, it should be, first of all, in unanimous approval by the entire board. That seems to be a given. But what I don't have here on the slide, and that I think that needs to be mentioned, is I think that we need to be careful about how the unwritten renewal process happens. What I see sometimes is that we have a board member is renewed for maybe a term, but then they come back and they hold a position, an officer's position, whether that's secretary, they become a treasurer, they become a president, vice president, and thank you. We do appreciate that. That is a fabulous thing. Then they step down from their office and then they go back to being a board member. So what we've done is we've accidentally, intentionally, yeah, they've served for 4 or 5 years, and then what has happened is they have regurgitated their ideas, their platform in the organization for so long, and we have to be mindful that we may or may not be getting fresh ideas because their ideas are coming back and recycling over and over again. And if we're not careful, we're exhausting them and we're denying the organization fresh ideas. We're denying other people the opportunity to serve. So this is why I'm a proponent of term limits. If we continue to allow these people to shift from board member to board officer back to board member, we're just doing the same thing where we allow 10% of the people to do 90% of the work, and that's not fair to other leaders and other aspiring leaders. So this is the reason why I'm a proponent of term limits. If you agree or disagree, I would love to see your comments, and please drop them in the comments below. But that's just my personal experience, and those are my personal thoughts. Thank you for watching this YouTube informational. I hope that you were able to get a nugget or two out of this. If you would, please go over and visit our website at www.pleasantleadership.com and take a moment and fill out the contact information or message us. I would love to hear from you. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and so that you are alerted every Friday when we have a leadership video that is uploaded, or when I upload in the interim a leadership reflection, or I share with you one of my reviews on a leadership reading. So I'd love to hear from you. Until we meet again, I hope every day you have is a stellar day. Go forth and lead well.